the model dogs are set up for the model dog competition. And model dogs come to you in a matted mess, and you have to demat them. And there are no rules, anything goes. And there are several model dogs here to see everybody's creativity. This one looks like a Shih Tzu with a little bit of color. Looks like what they were going for there. It's very nice. Lots of rhinestones. We've got Lady from Lady and the Tramp. I believe this is a first timer. And then we have Little Mermaid. Nice and cute. That's pretty nice. These things are really, really hard to work with. Let's see what she's working on here. Looks like she's got a Pomeranian going.
It's supposed to be a black Sheltie.
Okay, we got a Sheltie going. Hang on. Can we interview you a little bit?
Sure.
So, what did you use to color your model dog?
Chalk, hairspray, and some blue pen, pretty much all together.
So, do you find these way harder to work on than a regular dog?
Oh, yeah. Very much so. Very much so.
So would you suggest people that are wanting to get into creative or regular grooming to play with these first because they're a little harder?
Yes and no. I mean, if you make a mistake, it doesn't grow back, but it's not a real dog. So great for, trying to practice coloring dogs. I'm from Florida. It's against a lot of colored dogs, so I don't really have a chance to try something like this. And I know that a lot of group schools do use the model dogs to try and learn to brush them, use a pin brush to scissor to practice doing things with dogs on it. So they basically come out, when you get them, they're in the shape of a poodle with like poodle hair. They come in matted and then you brush them out, but when you brush them out, they're kind of like poodle hair, and
right.
You kind of get an idea of form and how to.
So how long did it take you to brush your model dog?
Weeks. On and off.
Right, yeah. Hours and hours. We'll see if we can't get a... This one's kind of nice. I like this. Lots and lots of bling. Jay, what do you think about all that bling?
It's alright.
Would you do that to a real poodle?
Absolutely not.
Why not? You don't think a real poodle would be like gorgeous? Okay, picture a model on a runway with a pink and black dress.
Okay, let me take the microphone and turn this around. Let's look at number 163 here. Let's check this one out.
This one's mine.
What inspired this design?
Oh, this design was inspired by a group of people that got online saying I was, we're going to say it nice, I was barbaric because I hunt and I also claim to love animals, which I do love animals, but I do hunt. So this is, I actually done a standard poodle like this too. So this is me saying, I can hunt and I can love dogs.
Very nice. I like the barbed wire touch. That is really cool. If you're not from the South, you probably don't know what barbed wire is, but we keep the cows and the horses in.
Yeah, I handmade that barbed wire.
Very nice.
I didn't want real barbed wire, somebody might get cut, but...
Okay, so question, is this a part of the actual dog that you started out with?
Yes, this is all hair that I brushed out. This part I actually plucked completely bald, and the stop here on these, when you pluck them, it's, like, so I had to take plaster of Paris and gauze and rebuild the face. And I should have made the nose longer. It was supposed to look like a Walker Coonhound. It's a beagle, still a hunting dog, so, but yeah, I had to plaster all this in here, and then I went back and covered with the shorter. I was going to just plaster it, and I thought it needed some fur, so.
Very nice. I think it's really cool.
I had a pet coon named Quagmire, and that's how I got the idea for the coon.
I had a pet coon named Casper, and it was albino.
Well, I coon hunt, and I still had a pet coon.
Well, I was coon hunting too, but I didn't actually hunt. I just held the light, but I had a pet raccoon too as well.
Yeah. Well, when they're wild, they're not all cute and cuddly like people think they are. When they're tame, they're cool, but in the wild, they're really nasty little critters. So, Push Me, Pull You from Dr. Dolittle, and Jacob Hodja did this, and I don't know how many people know, but he actually is like a puppeteer, makes a lot of puppets and stuff as a hobby. So this is really neat. Looks like he had to buy 2 dogs. Yeah, I wish he was here for we could ask, is that 2 heads or is that the rumple one?
Yeah, because
the way the feet are facing, yeah. Yeah, but if you ever took one of these things apart, the angulation's all wrong on them. We'll have to find him later. That's really unique. He's got a little sign here. And this one looks like a punk rock theme. That is hot pink. What about a poodle done that color? No? Not for you. He's got some really tall spikes. And these things are really, really hard to smooth. Have you ever scissored a model dog?
I have actually never worked with one, but I know they will mess your scissors up if you don't use an old pair of shears.
I use my J. Scruggs shears.
Funny.
Yes, they will, but they're really good. People that want to get into creative grooming, if you can do one of these, you can do a real dog, because this hair is much harder to work with, and it's much harder to color. And this looks like Prince. I'm thinking this is Prince. Purple Rain. And then this looks like a fairy theme over here. These are some really, really nice dogs. There's a lot of tough competition here. Now look at the toes. Just that detail on toes. I don't know if you noticed some of the stands that people are putting these on are starting to get really creative. And that's because once you do these dogs, if you touch them, it leaves a handprint and it can ruin the whole dog. So they put them on the stands to keep them from getting ruined. This one's really nice. This, I don't know what to think about this. This is Lori Craig's. That's what Lori Craig. Yeah, that's. I don't know what she was thinking. You know what she was thinking? She was thinking she was gonna come to beat me.
I bet she hunts those.
You know, I bet she does hunt. She looks like the type that hunts dragons. And her hair matches this dog. Lori Craig. Can he turn the camera off and we'll just kind of shove it? We can do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Shove her,
we'll
just shove it off?
From the competition.
Yeah, I think she should be disqualified.
You know, like a lot of times when you're judging in the ring, and then you kind of make your cut before it starts. I've already cut it.
That's what I think. I say we just shove it off the table. I wonder what she would do if we hit them. Okay, the closest thing I see here to your style is this is the least color I see. I don't know. You got the Sheltie over there. That's what you would do. If you were to do a model dog, what would you do? So what breed would you do? Would you leave it a poodle or would you transform it into something else? This is Lori Craig. This is the stylist that did the dragon that Jay was saying was so horrible and that it was just cut from the competition right off the bat because he thought it just didn't even resemble a dog. He didn't like it.
Okay.
So we want to know what Lori thinks about this.
Yeah.
Oh no, watch the tape.
She's throwing me
Did
under
you
the bus.
seriously?
She is throwing me under the bus. She told me some lady did. I didn't like it. I didn't even know it was you. Otherwise, I would have been like, oh, I love that.
So what do you think about him saying that it was just him?
Well, it's a crazy model dog competition, so therefore
She did.
it doesn't need to resemble. It doesn't need to resemble a dog because it's the crazy model dog competition.
We've challenged Jay. Jay's never done a model dog, so we're going to get Todd to bring it back at Pet Quest or somewhere, and Todd thinks he can kick our butt with a Bedlington. He won't do a creative. But
Jay.
Oh, Jay, not Todd. Todd's not going to do anything. Todd's not going to pick up a broom, a microphone, a piece of paper. Todd's not going to do anything. Sorry about that. But you couldn't add a little bit of color? I mean, you can't be a little creative?
No, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to groom the dog like a Bedlington, and then I'm going to have you guys color it like the shades of a Bedlington, kind of like a bluish gray.
You have to do it yourself.
We know you
I
can
have
die.
asthma, and I'll be like...
Airbrush. I'll let you use my airbrush.
I don't know if I can do that. Back to the dragon. So the reason we disqualified the dragon was because it's not a dog, and the rules specifically said you had to make it look like a dog, and all the other ones out there look like a
doesn't say
dog,
that.
and yours doesn't. So,
It says nothing about making it
Angela,
look like
What's the name of the competition?
Angela model dog competition.
Crazy model dog, anything goes is the rule on
okay,
that.
so
Anything.
so Angela just threw me under the bus, but if you go back and watch the tape, it was her. She it was all a
shredded
plot.
me, huh?
The only thing I did was try to knock it off the table.
I think her comment was we should put it behind the table because it looks like crap or something like that.
Okay, let me ask. You've seen all the dogs that were in there. What is your absolute favorite of what's sitting up there? See if we have the same opinion.
Just gonna break your heart. I like the bling dog.
That's the one I
she said
picked.
that. I'm sorry.
That's the one I picked.
I like the bling
yeah,
bling.
I did too. Yeah, the poodle with the bling. She's probably gonna take it. Y'all watch on Sunday.